in really thanking the committee led by Honorable Kwamboka for this good report. Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I think this is the first report we are getting from the peak committees, and it's the first report coming from the side of the opposition in terms of oversight committees, other than the ones we have been doing for public debt and privatization. So we really want to appreciate the work of the committee. And Honorable Speaker, listening to the report, the presentation of the report, and listening to the immediate speaker, in terms of what they think as a committee and what is written here, Honorable Speaker, I think the committee has been very lenient in terms of recommendations. Actually, Honorable Sigei, what you are saying, I wish it was in the report, where you are saying you want to act very tough, but the report seems to be very lenient in terms of recommendations. And Honorable Speaker, this being an oversight report, it is important that we start cracking the whip. Honorable Speaker, when you look at some of the general observations in terms of what is happening in these sagas, and more so sagas in the education sector and governance sector, Honorable Speaker, you note that these are sagas which are doing what you call social activities in the country. Actually, education is a social, is more of a public good, so we don't expect these sagas to give us dividends at the end of the year because they are supporting social activities, but we expect them to operate within the law. For example, Honorable Speaker, when in this house, in the 20th, 21st century, we hear that the first observation is all these sagas which were audited, there was an observation of poor accounting standards. Poor accounting standards, Honorable Speaker. When this country has the best brains in terms of accounting profession, Honorable Speaker, and second to that, Honorable Speaker, accounting is one of the areas where, or the disciplines where, things have been standardized. So this can only be explained by two things, Honorable Speaker. The first one is a situation where the CEOs deliberately decide not to prepare their accounts. The second one is tied to one of the recommendations, Honorable Speaker, where instead of hiring competent people, they end up hiring relatives who might not be having the right papers, Honorable Speaker. And on that note, Honorable Speaker, I would have expected the committee to come up with a very clear recommendation saying that such as CEOs who could not do proper accounting, Honorable Speaker, are not worthy being CEOs in this country in the 21st century. The second area, Honorable Speaker, is the area of delayed submission of accounting documents, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, in time we interact with the Auditor General, there has been a strong feeling that even the 3 months allowed in law, that after 3 months at the end of the financial year, the accounting officer should be able to submit their document to the Auditor General. There is a strong feeling, Honorable Speaker, that this should be reduced to 2 months. Why is that the case? This is the case because these accountants, Honorable Speaker, and every ministry and these sagas have accountants who are qualified, keep on preparing these documents throughout the year. So by close of the financial year, there is no good reason why they require 3 months to consolidate their accounts. 2 months should be enough so that we allow the Auditor General more time to prepare the accounts. So, Honorable Speaker, when you look at some of these observations, I think this committee, for now, this being the first report, we can understand. But I think as we move to the future, Honorable Speaker, and all other reports which are going to come from this oversight committees, Honorable Speaker, we need to be very firm as a house in terms of what we are recommending, so that we send the right signal to these accounting officers who think they can play around with the resources from the public and do whatever they want to do. And Honorable Speaker, more specifically, when this country is struggling now to even meet the basic requirements of a country, Honorable Speaker, this is the time we must make sure that every single cent is actually going to the intended place, Honorable Speaker. The other thing, Honorable Speaker, which is coming out is the issue of these consultancies, Honorable Speaker. That consultancies are costing more than the actual cost of the project. You know, you can't, and some of us who have background in program management, you can't understand where a consultant becomes more expensive than the cost of the project itself. You can't explain, Honorable Speaker. So to me, I think these are cases where those who are involved in such a case should be finding their way either to the courts or should be investigated by the investigating bodies like EACC and other bodies like the DCI, so that we get to know really what is happening, Honorable Speaker. So, Honorable Speaker, as I conclude, I want to say the following, Honorable Speaker, that the issue of skilled employment in this parastatus, Honorable Speaker, is very common. Actually, Honorable Speaker, you will not be surprised to find some of them in their senior meetings. They can actually conduct meetings in their vernacular, because you find everybody in those senior positions comes from the same ethnic grouping, Honorable Speaker. When this country, we say we have 45 different ethnic groupings, Honorable Speaker. And we also keep on saying our constitution demands that there should be regional balancing. So, Honorable Speaker, to me, these are issues which are really issues which are very important, and we should be discussed by this House, so that as a House, Honorable Speaker, we don't become a lamenting house where we are only full of lamentations every day. This is not working, and we appear like we are a toothless dog, Honorable Speaker. I think this House has what it takes to act on some of these officers to make things sure that things are being done correctly. And I'm happy when I hear the majority whip saying he is ready to crack the whip so long as the report recommends so. So it is our work as a minority side to make sure that we make these recommendations. Honorable Speaker, as I conclude, I want to say this. Even as a House, Honorable Speaker, we have a big role to play. And I always believe, Honorable Speaker, this audit reports will be taken seriously in this country. The time will start tying audit reports to budgeting process. So that, Honorable Speaker, if any CEO or even accounting officer has audit queries, we make sure that the budget is reduced to a level that they must answer those audit queries before we give them more money. So if we tie these two reports, audit report and budget making process, Honorable Speaker, this House will become more effective in terms of doing our work. And this can only be done, Honorable Speaker, if we also ensure that in terms of timing, like now this report is up to 2021 financial year, Honorable Speaker. But, Honorable Speaker, we have 2021/2022, we have 2022/2023, and very soon we'll be having 2023-24. So you can see we still have arrears of about 2 years. So if you really want to tie budgeting with auditing, we must make sure that the auditing reports, Honorable Speaker, are in this House in a timely manner, and this House makes resolutions in a way that this can inform the budget process, Honorable Speaker. With this matter remarks, Honorable Speaker, I support the report. Thank you.
Geoffrey Ruku.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.